Hey everyone, it's Cass. This is what's good with Cass. I really don't know how to get started or really even what to say, so I'm just going to speak from the heart. So a lot of people have recognized, that something's been going on. I've been kind of quiet, a little bit down, and I feel like I should share that with everyone, let them know what is going on. It's been really hard for me to decide whether or not I wanted to share this with the world, share this with my followers, the people that, watch me on Instagram, or just always like, oh, you always look like you're having so much fun. And I just feel like what has been going on with me is something that is not ever really talked about. It's kind of just like keep it on the low, It's not something that people want to talk about. It's not a happy thing. It's not an exciting thing. It's a pretty traumatic experience. And I feel like there's so many young girls that I have that follow me, that I work with, that see me every day with a smile on my face and don't always know what it is that's going on in my life. And I feel like I can use this experience for good. As shitty as it's been and as sad as it has been, every experience is an experience, and it's important to grow from those experiences, and also help other people along the way. So that's really why I wanted to share this. I work with girls in college, young women in college every day, and this can happen very much. So I really decided that, I want to share, I want to make it a good experience. I want other people to learn from my experience. So we're just gonna get into it. Halloween weekend, I went out on Halloween day. That whole week I had kind of been feeling like just a little weird, right? Like just not 100% myself. I was exhausted. I was just tired is really like the biggest thing. And this might be TMI, but like my boobs hurt like so bad. So I didn't really think anything of it, right? I was like, okay, whatever, I'm just tired. Work's been a little stressful. Life is a little stressful right now. I'm grad school, Like, oh, I'm fine. I just need to sleep. After this weekend, I'll sleep it off. So I go out. Halloween was on a Thursday. I go out that Thursday, have a good time with my friends, whatever. And then the next day was a Friday. I realized, holy crap, like I haven't got my period. So I was about 4 or 5 days late at that point. And again, didn't think anything of it. My period isn't always regular or whatever. So I'm like, oh, it'll come, it always comes. So Saturday, Joey and I were at Walmart. We went grocery shopping, and I was like, you know what, let me just like grab a test just in case, because it doesn't hurt to take a test, right? So I get the test. Joey and I decided that we were gonna take it on Sunday morning. He was aware that like I hadn't got my period, whatever, and we were fine. We're like, okay, we'll just take the test. And Joey left on Saturday night. He went to go do, I don't even know what he went to do. And I was like, you know what, like I can't wait anymore. Like I need to take this test. Like something was just telling me like, take this test. It was about 11 o'clock at night. I took the test. And when I tell you that like those 3 minutes or 2 minutes, whatever it is, are like the longest minutes of your life, I'm not lying. Like those are the longest minutes. And when I looked down, it was very, very, very clear that I was pregnant. I actually have the tests. As you can see, very much pregnant. I took 2 tests. I took the first one Saturday night. I took the second one Sunday morning. And when I found out that I was pregnant, it was like the most emotions I've ever felt at one time in my entire life. It was fear, it was nervousness, it was nauseousness, like it was shaking, my heart was racing, but it was love, it was joy, It was optimism. It was all of the things that you couldn't even imagine when someone finds out that they're pregnant. So I was shaking. I was like, holy shit, I'm pregnant. I am pregnant. So first thing I did, I couldn't get off the toilet. I was like, I couldn't move. First thing I did was call my best friend and I told her, Cece, I'm pregnant. And you know, she kind of like talked me down a little bit. I wasn't like mad or nervous. I was just like, oh crap, I gotta figure my life out. Most people want to do like a really exciting like surprise for their boyfriends, like surprise, we're pregnant. I could not wait. So as soon as Joey came back home, I handed him the test and we were pregnant. So Monday came, I found a doctor, I made an appointment, I went to Target and bought prenatal vitamins. You know, I was like excited. I was pregnant. If anyone knows me, you know that my biggest dream in life is to be a mom, is to have kids, lots of kids, a beautiful house, a happy home with a dog, the white picket fence. That's how I envision my life. That's how I've envisioned it since I was a little kid. And to know that that was finally gonna happen was like so overwhelming for me. I went to my first appointment. It was that same week. I do have clips and I'll post them here so you can see them. It's November 6th. Today's our first baby appointment. And they got the baby. They're about to put that inside of me. You got any words, babe?
Huh?
You got any words?
Just ready to see what the little seed looks like.
I'm nervous. Wish me luck. So they made me take another pregnancy test. So that's pregnancy test number 4. I don't know how many times I need to tell these people that I'm pregnant, but that's okay.
You want to make sure.
I guess. So we're just waiting for the doc to come in, and then she's gonna stick this thing right up my badge. Wish me luck. They only had the external ultrasound, and at that time I was still very early, so they weren't able to see anything. Joey and I were just so excited, and you know, I didn't feel anything yet. I just felt tired, and that was really it. So because they couldn't see anything, they sent me to another doctor to do a transvaginal ultrasound. I booked my appointment and it was the next week. So as we're going through this week, you know, everything's going fine. Friday hits, I go to the bathroom and I see spotting. Now, when you're pregnant, it's pretty common to see spotting. The doctor said it's not normal, but it's very common. So, you know, the first thing you think when you see blood is, oh my God, I'm losing my baby, I'm losing my baby. But I called the doctor right away. She said that it was fine. If it got worse, to go to the hospital. Everything was fine. That day, I felt very crampy, like I did so many ab workouts. That's like how my stomach felt. But like I said, I didn't think anything of it. You know, I just went about my weekend. I was still spotting, but it wasn't too bad. You know, it was manageable. It was nothing like my period. Go through half of the next week, and last Wednesday, which was November 13th, I get up, I go to the bathroom. Joey was still here. He hadn't left for work yet, and I saw something that scared me, petrified me. And I called Joey into the bathroom. I said, Joey, look at this. And first thing he said was, let's go to the emergency room. Get to the emergency room. I call my OBGYN. I let her know what's going on. And the first thing she tells me is, okay, your body's rejecting your pregnancy. I noticed the spotting the Friday before I ended up in the emergency room. You know, you automatically, like I said, think the worst thing could happen. And that whole time, from the Friday to the Wednesday, you know, I told my mom. She said, you know, it's okay. A lot of women even have their period while they're pregnant, so don't worry about it. Other people that I told were said, oh no, you're fine, like it's okay, it happens. But you know, I don't know if it was mother's intuition, I don't know if it was just me not knowing what was happening, but knowing that something wasn't right. You know, I couldn't shake that feeling of, oh my God, I'm gonna lose my baby. So at the emergency room, you know, they take my vitals, they do all of that stuff. They have me pee in a cup, you know, everything. And then they hook me up to an IV. They take me to get an ultrasound. And when I had my ultrasound that Monday. So this was Wednesday. I had my ultrasound 2 days before that. So this was my ultrasound. This is the sac that the baby is in. They measured me at only 4 weeks, 5 days when I had my ultrasound. So by the time I was in the hospital, I was 5 weeks on the day. It was still very early. You couldn't really, from the ultrasound, you still couldn't see anything because it was still so early. But yeah, when they did the ultrasound in the hospital, the sac is supposed to be a circle. It was on that Monday. Wednesday came and the sac was like this. Almost like when you inflate a balloon and then let it go, it kind of just like shrivels up. And that's what the sac looked like. You know, the ultrasound tech, she said, oh yeah, we can't really give you any information. You have to wait for the doctor. But I could tell. I could just tell from the way she was looking at it, how long she was there, how quiet she was, you know, I could just tell. So I go back to the room, like my room in the emergency room. And I was just quiet. I was scared, I was nervous, I was sad. You know, you don't want to think the worst, but you automatically always think the worst. Joey was very quiet. You know, he was trying to support me. There were times where I would just start crying, just start busting out crying, because nothing seemed like it was okay. I wasn't in any pain. It just felt like I was on my period, but it was a heavier period. So the doctor comes in and she just had this look, and that look was very, very clear. She didn't even need to really say anything. She said, so the doctor, your OBGYN was right, your body is rejecting your pregnancy. And when she said that, I turned over and I just lost it. Joey and I both just lost it. It was very hard to hear, but at the same time, I had already known, you know? She told me that because I was so early, you know, anything really could have gone wrong. There's no way to know what it was that happened. It was nothing that I did wrong. But that didn't make it any easier for me. She also told me that, you know, the baby is gonna pass. I'm gonna be in a lot of pain. I'm gonna be nauseous. I'm gonna be throwing up. And it was gonna be extremely painful. So thinking about all of that, the first thing I thought when she said, you know, you're gonna be sick to your stomach was, I didn't even get the chance to have morning sickness yet. But now I have to be nauseous, passing a baby that I wanted. So once she said that to me, she also asked me if I wanted her to do an exam to kind of see like what it was looking like with my cervix and everything else up there, to see if the baby had passed, all of that stuff. And I told her no, and basically told me, yeah, it's gonna come out of you and you're gonna be bleeding. And I told her that I had a flight the next day to go see my family, to tell them that I was pregnant. I bought a little onesie and I wrote on it, grandbaby number 3, coming July 2020, in a little box with the ultrasound pictures. It's November 13th. It's about 3:30 p.m. all the doctors kept saying is, you're young, you're young, you're young. That doesn't matter. That doesn't make me feel any better. She told me the baby's gonna pass. It won't look like blood, it'll look like tissue. It's gonna be painful, it's gonna hurt. You're gonna be throwing up. And the doctor said, this won't affect any future pregnancies. But now I'm scared to ever have to go through this again. So today has been a very, very, very rough day. Sometimes I feel like I jinxed it by telling so many people already that I'm pregnant. Maybe I should have just kept it quiet. The only people that needed to know were Joey and I, but I was so excited. I'm trying to remember that there is a plan for everyone's life. God already knows the answers to all of my problems and all of my questions. So it's been very hard. It's something that I felt ashamed about. I felt, I was mad at my body. I was mad at it for not being able to sustain something that I've always wanted my entire life, And that's hard, to have an inner hate for something that you had no control over. And to know that Joey wants a child so bad. And we had one, and my body rejected it. I had bought a pregnancy journal. I also have some video of that. I walked in 4 or 5 different stores looking at all their baby stuff, walking out with a stroller, being like, oh, this one looks nice, this one looks cool, looking at baby clothes. I bought What to Expect When You're Expecting, had all the apps, and I've only known for 2 weeks. But in those 2 weeks, my life was really put into perspective for me. If you don't know, I am in grad school. I am in my 2nd year, almost done my 3rd semester with 1 more to go until graduation. I'm also an assistant hall director, which means that next year, I hope, and I know that is in the works for me, that I will be a hall director somewhere, don't know where, but I will be job searching, and that was scary in itself. That's something that, is a very big stressor for anyone in their 2nd year of grad school in student affairs. And on top of it, I was pregnant. I had kind of just been like, all right, let's figure this out. What are we gonna do? I started looking at options, started looking at locations, schools that take a child and a significant other, all of that stuff. I started really thinking about my life. Okay, what do I need to be doing right now? How can I be getting prepared for this to happen? All of that stuff. How can I manage school? How can I manage my job? How can I do all of this stuff and be pregnant at the same time? But I was ready for it. I was ready for it. I was. Or at least I thought I was, I don't think anyone's ever really ready for a child. Today is Wednesday, November 20th. It's been exactly a week since I miscarried. And I had an appointment today at my OBGYN, which was something I was dreading this whole week, knowing that I had to go to a doctor's office with all these pregnant moms with big bellies and babies in strollers, babies crying. I was in there empty. That's really how I can describe it. I just felt empty. The whole time I was in there, I just wanted to cry. I sat in the waiting room for 2 hours, waiting to get a room. And once I got a room, after another 45 minutes, the ultrasound tech came in, started doing an ultrasound, and said she didn't see anything. And I said, well, yeah, that's because I had a miscarriage. And she says, oh, I'm so sorry, I didn't know. And after that, I just lost it. I just wanted to leave. I just wanted to be out, a whole nother situation of not picking good doctors. So right now, I wanted to make a video just because of all the women that are in my life that work with me or that know me are my friends, my family. Because miscarriage is something that's not talked about. It's not something that people want to talk about. 1 in 4 women have a miscarriage in their life, at least one. Some have so many miscarriages. And after having this one, I can't imagine having to go through this again. It is so sad. I started vlogging the experience because I wanted to make a vlog for my baby, showing from the moment I found out I was pregnant until I had the baby. I was pregnant. And it's been about 2 weeks now since I found out. And I don't know how to feel. Sometimes I feel okay. Sometimes I don't want to be around anyone. Sometimes I just need a moment to just, recenter myself and remember that like everything in life happens for a reason. There's a purpose for everything. He takes away the joys and the pains in our life for a reason. And as much as I can't understand why this happened to me, and I can't see in the future why this happened, I have to trust and believe that there's a reason why. There's a path for my life, and this is, one of those stepping stones in my life. And I know that I'm gonna grow from it. I know that this is bringing Joey and I so much closer. But it still hurts a lot. You hear about miscarriage and you never think that it will happen to you until it does. It's been something that I'm trying to just move on from and know that I can try again. Of course, it wasn't planned. I trust that, whatever it is that is going to happen in my life, there's a reason for it. People look up to me and I want to encourage them and empower them and motivate them. That if this happens to you, it's okay. There's times where I want to cry. There's times where I'm sad, I'm upset. But I have faith in God. I have faith in a higher power that I know is always looking out for me and providing for me. So to all the people that have been asking what's going on, here it is. I'm okay. I'm keeping the faith, and in these last 2 weeks I've been tested a lot in my faith, and I can't say that that's the reason why this happened, but I know that there is a reason. And even if I can't see it, it's there. So I just want to tell you all that I love you and that I want to do more advocacy about miscarriage and pregnancy loss. So if you ever want to talk, if you ever, want more information, I'm no expert, but I know the process now. Still going through the process right now, going to the doctors, making sure I'm okay, but I'm always a listening ear. So I love you all. Thank you for watching, and thank you for the love and support. And yeah, let's see where this road takes me.